I'm excited. She does what she wants. This is Mao Mao's world. We're just living in it. Pattern. I'm telling you. Reflector. Let's go. Yapai. Yo! But again, sometimes we can do is all we can do. We can mean the best, have the best intention, be thoughtful, be considerate, be charitable for others. But if those others have too much insecurities and self-judgment, they will reach the same outcome as self-defeating syndrome, and there will be the ones that push you away. Hello friends, my name is Benoit Kim, a UPenn educated psychotherapist and your favorite yapper. Welcome to my detailed psychological analysis of the Apothecary Diaries episode 16. And I just want to make a quick PSA. I still have a lot of folks who are so gung-ho and certain that Mao Mao is autistic. Obviously, unless the author herself specifically explains and confirms that she's autistic, she's not. Of course, speculation is welcome. We all have our thoughts and we are all entitled to our opinions. Please don't comment that Mao Mao is autistic with 100% certainty. I'm not certain, right? No one's certain except the author. And that's not really the point of the show. Because I could tell that some folks in the comment sections are getting offended at my analysis and just my own opinions and my clinical thoughts. Again, I'm not the author. And whether Mao Mao is autistic or not, based on our speculation, without author's further confirmation and verification, it's all speculation at the end of the day. And that's not the point of the show, right? And obviously I get it. We tend to see ourselves in others that we relate. So no fault in that. At the same time, let's be fact-based, and speculation is speculation at the end of the day. Anyway, Athathanation Zero, Vinny, Greg Bogue, Foxlos Gaming, Crisco94, Jean Negre, Wei Xiang, Project Norway, Samsonian, and Fidelis are the sponsored tier highlights of today's video. I appreciate your support. Shout out to the best patron family and growing YouTube communities. Sit back and I hope you enjoy. She knows him well. Wow. Very ominous. Quick pause. So again, I'm hyper focused and I want to double click on a lot of things that's seemingly irrelevant and that's in passing with high relevance. Because obviously this is like a historical drama with mystery with a hint of detective vibe. Mao Mao is right. Master Jinshi has no hesitation and he has zero trouble coming to Mao Mao and burdening and troubling Mao Mao for mysteries and other difficult cases. But this time, in the beginning of episode 16, we do see that he was hesitating. Because of hesitation, Mao Mao was like, this is odd. Mao Mao is the one that actually initiated and probed further. And now Master Jinshi is explaining. And let's go back to episode 15. A new character that's with seemingly high importance. And like I said, he has the villain vibe. He was introduced, the guy with the single glass, which kind of to me represents Detective Conan. His favor and request for Master Jinshi was to borrow Mao Mao, this known lady in waiting, this known servant with high intelligence, observation. And I had this wild speculation and prediction that courtesan that the other master was saying is Mao Mao's deceased mother. And remember his saying that I had to devalue this courtesan because she was on the pedestal and she only sold her art, but she would never do anything sexually. And she had a lot of the patrons under her wraps using the other guy's sentiment. And I had to evaluate her or devalue her. And to my dark mind, the only way I could think about to devalue a woman is by taking their chastity, aka rape. I know that was a very dark speculation. But the point is, I think that courtesan, who was also extremely smart, who could best this master strategist who's known in the royal palace at the game of Go, is extremely intelligent, deductive, right? All that. Similar traits as also displayed by our very own Mao Mao, our international treasure. So because of that request, I think Master Jinshi is very apprehensive because he knows the other guy's sus. And I don't think Master Jinshi for the first time wanted to get Mao Mao involved. But it is a favor by a colleague who's also a very high-ranking military officer. And Master Jinshi knows that the other guy, he plays everything like 3, 4, 5 moves ahead like a chess because he's a master strategist. So I think Mao Mao is inevitably getting pulled into this very high-level 4-dimension chess. Politics everywhere.
近在区の秘伝が分かればいいということですね。そうでしょうか。
She also has a favor to ask.
皆弟子をしており、父親が死んだ後はそのうちの誰かが子供と死んだと言われている。次男には細工の施された家具、三男には金魚鉢、そして一言、皆昔のように茶会でもするといいと言い残した。
Is that a riddle? Mysterious will. Nah, no way.
形見分けにもかなり格差があります。親と家具と金魚鉢となると、どう見ても下の子ほど損をしている気がする。どういう品なのでしょうか。
気になるなら行ってみればいいということだ。
Of course it piques your interest. It's an unsolved mystery.
最初からこうなることを読んでいた。面白い。明日お時間をいただけるのであれば。戻ったら仕事を増やされる。
Master Jinshi is again sulking because he's like, dang, she's obviously it's not the fact that Mao Mao's taking the time off. I don't think Master Jinshi cares about that. He literally bought her. He's got more wealth, again, with the speculation that he's a secret prince. But I think he's sulking here because she's taking time off from him for a different man, a different military officer's favor. I think that's why he's sad. Not actually because from the fact that she's taking some time off. And couple of things, it's really lovely to see this brewing dynamic between Master Jinshi and Mao Mao. They really know each other. Like I said, Master Jinshi already prepared this preemptively, prepared this envelope in anticipation that Mao Mao will sure to be interested in this situation. Again, that's only possible because he knows her. And Mao Mao also knows him, which is the beginning of this episode with her commentary that what's going on? Why is Master Jinshi hesitating? He has no problem. He has no trouble coming to me with troubles. Right, so you see that? Mao Mao and Jinshi, or Jin Mao, the reality TV show season 2, is brewing. And it's really lovely to see. And again, this might be unrelated, but another PSA, just like my introduction, I strongly recommend everyone to sign up for Advanced Will. Definition right here. Advanced Will is when you work with lawyers, attorneys, to write out and prepare. It doesn't have to be through lawyers. You can go to like a notary office. There's a couple other public offices. They offer such services at a pretty low fee. You prepare your will in advancement in case some accidents happen. Because again, as I talked about throughout this episode, in this series, nothing in life is guaranteed. And let alone our life, our future is 100% most certainly not guaranteed. The only thing that is guaranteed and certain is uncertainty. You see the paradox? And advanced will is very important, especially in medical situations, because again, I work in healthcare setting as a psychotherapist. My wife's also in healthcare as well. She's in medicine. We see so many situations where family members, they fight over to prolong the lifespan of their sick ones. Of course, they love them. They want them to live longer and so on. Makes sense. At the same time, we have seen countless examples where the patients themselves are suffering needlessly, and their suffering and their pain is prolonged simply because of the desire of their family members. And in a lot of the severe cases, if the patients are in coma or they're in such a weak state that they cannot interact and communicate with the healthcare team, family members will take over the directives. and take over the primary care functions. I get it. But because of that, a lot of patients are suffering needlessly. And we have seen that countlessly. And in those cases, advance will is what counts legally. Even if the family members want to prolong the families or the patients prolong suffering for the sake of their own, sometimes selfish desire so that they can live longer. Again, of course, it makes sense. I get it. At the same time, it's not fair to the patients. And a lot of times those patients cannot advocate for themselves. And in those situations, advance will is extremely important because legally that is what counts. So I thought about this random fun fact and encouragement because they're talking about will, this mysterious situations, the tea party. But I strongly recommend it's pretty cheap, and advance will, it helps out a lot in unexpected and medical situations. So episode 16 is called Lead. So I guess this is also about lead poisoning, or is lead because it's metalwork? Could be double meaning. Oh, same guy. Bassin. He's like the foot soldier, I'm dead. Of course, he doesn't want to be doing this escort services and this, I guess, foot soldier, like full work for their masters. But again, Master Gaoshan and Master Jin, she's so much higher. They're not going to do the dirty work themselves. They're a lot busier. So of course she delegates. And Master Basin is the delegated person. He's like, gosh, I have to babysit again. Right there. So I'm zooming in more into Mao Mao's seemingly half-revealed traumatic background and apprehension against men for her own safety, and of course, different clues than the show's been revealing so far. Even her monologue right there, she said that I don't think he likes me, but as long as he's harmless, I don't mind. She's hyper focused and she's hyper aware of danger, looming risk factors, looming and potential safety concerns. Yes, she's a female and she's a woman, of course. Women by nature have more situational awareness in terms of danger and risk than men. Biological differences, patriarchal systems, and of course, biologically, physically, most men can dominate women at ease. Of course, there are exceptions and outliers, but generally speaking, that is the case. And because of that, women have to be more situationally aware. Women get catcalled all the time. My wife told me this a few years ago, that even if she's in her pajamas, sometimes on the weekend, she would take a quick breeze walk. She'll get catcalled by truck drivers and people on the streets. I was like, what? Even if you have no makeup on your pajamas, in a very incognito mode with hoodies on and stuff. She's like, yeah. I was like, really? It's not that I didn't believe her. It's just hard for me to relate because guys don't really get catcalled, right? I'm sure some do. But then one time I walked outside and took a walk on a Sunday morning with her before like our church. And even with me, her husband being next to her, she got catcalled. I was like, what? First of all, anyone that catcalls is absolute cowards and little bees, right? Like, what do you think catcall is gonna call? Oh my gosh, you're catcalling me because you're such a coward in your moving car because you don't have the audacity and courage to talk to a woman like a man, 1-to-1. So you're doing that as you're driving by. You think they're gonna go, oh my gosh, you catcalled me. Here's my number. Call me. Right? It's such a cowardly move. Full stop. But my point is, because of these situations and all these invisible struggle that many women go through, they are more situationally aware. And I think that's also a reflection from Mao Mao, that as long as he is no harm, I don't mind. So I think that's level 1 of situational awareness for looming risk and danger. But the deeper level is, I think that's hypervigilance, definition right here. Hypervigilance is a PTSD trauma response where after like a traumatic experiences, you feel like you're walking on an eggshell. You're hypervigilant. You're always preparing, fight or flight or freeze because of the trauma. And I think that's her hypervigilance response in a very Passover portrayal for Mao Mao's PTSD and trauma of her background. Oh, he looks like a nice guy. Very soft, soothing voice too. Is that lead? Is that the secret? What if that's a secret? Secret materials.
といっても今は母屋で作業をしていて職人たちの茶飲み場になっているんです。
The main house or main shack is used as a tea party. Here's my prediction. Again, very baseless. What if the secret technique, the secret ingredients, the secret materials the father used as a craftsman is hidden in plain sight in this main shack where they have tea party? So the final mysterious will that the father left, I think, is 2 levels. Level 1, I think he just wants to see his sons unite and spend quality time together as families versus fighting over the remainings of his death, because it sounds like the craftsman is doing really, really well. This is a pretty big quarters and pretty big landscape for their house. So it sounds like he was a very successful craftsman for the royal palace. That's why higher ranking military officers are involved. So I think that's a level 1. He just simply, as a father, wants his sons to continue to spend quality time as families. That's level 1. But I think level 2 is, I think, the most treasured, precious heirloom, which is the secret technique and materials and ingredients it uses, is, I think, hidden in plain sight in this main shack. And the only way for the sons to discover is by having tea times as they used to. That's my predictions, y'all. It's all the sons, huh?
兄さんたちということは案内役が末っ子ということか。それでも部屋の見た目が悪くないのは。
The furnitures are placed strangely. Boom, another clue. I think this tea party slash main shack or the main house. No, I think main house is where they do work, and this main shack is the tea party gathering. I think it's like puzzle, right? This is immediately puzzle solving. And I just want to spotlight Master Basin's also observation. He made observation right away that, ooh, the furnitures are placed strangely. But can we also go back to Mao Mao's disregard for Master Basin every single time? So maybe that is the reason why Master Basin doesn't really like Mao Mao. Level 1 is he does all the full work by escorting her. And level 2, she never follow his direction. He's told her twice that you are my follower. Do not do anything outside of my instructions. But 2 for 2, she's disregarded his instructions the first time at the seaweed incident and the second time. I'm dead. Very classy. So that's again some historical knowledge, since you guys appreciate my Chinese background. I'm not Chinese, but obviously my Chinese background if you're new to my channel and the series. That chest, did you see that chest? That chest would obviously put different items, could be clothing or just items. Do you see the corners of like golden corners? So A, it's very classic, and B, it's a very high value item because golds. And third, that's a traditional, I guess, again, royalty chest they use in a lot of the palace settings and mansions in the dynasty eras, not just for China, but also in Korea and Japan. But I think golden platings and golden designs are a little bit more common in China and Korea, because again, gold was also the color of the dragon based on their mysterious folklore and just like the prestige. Because obviously emperors, their wardrobes and their design is dragon, and dragons are usually gold. So anything gold colored, aside from the valuable nature of gold, means high value, prestige. Gold plating, that's exactly what I meant. So it's not gold, it's just metal, but it's gold colored. Oh! So the first brother, you can tell he's very greedy just from his face. He just has like a greedy face, and you see that he's immediately like, hey, that's mine. Don't only look, don't touch. He's very possessive, he's very greedy. And remember father as well, and Mao Mao's initial impression that sounds like the older you are, the more valuable the inheritance were, and the younger you are, which is the youngest, who let everyone in. I noted that he sounds very soothing, very soft. He sounds like a nice guy, and he looks very innocent. I think in secret, in reality, I think the younger you are, aka the youngest son, actually gets the most prized, treasured inheritance, aka heirloom. And I think the eldest, because the father knows him really well, because he's so greedy, because especially he's the oldest. Again, in Chinese and Korean, in terms of heritage, Usually the oldest inheritance everything, simply from the order of your birth. Again, it's not urns. I'm the oldest child. I'm an older brother. I have a younger sister. Not because I earned it, simply because I was born first. That's it. It's entirely a biological birth privilege. I didn't earn this, but regardless of this unearned privilege, because of the value of, I guess, elder, social hierarchy, and respecting for those who came before we did in Chinese dynasty era and also in Korean dynasty era, even now, honestly, in some modern contexts, whoever is the oldest usually takes all. It's very cutthroat, very zero sum. But sounds like the father here is very sensible and very rational and actually divided his inheritance into 3 ways. But because of that, the oldest son, the greedy looking guy, is very greedy and possessive, like don't touch. Last thing I'll say is Mao noticed a little extra added metal plating on the floor, on the corner of the chest. I think that's where the things are hidden and the secrets are hidden. Oh, okay, I stand corrected. He's the second son. Again, middle child syndrome. Whatever I said still sense because middle child syndrome, they're usually the one that gets neglected. Nice. You see that? Again, everything I said stands. Although I mistaken the greedy guy as the oldest son. Look at the first thing that the eldest son says. Our father kicked the bucket. I get his translations. Any Japanese speaking viewers, feel free to let us know the actual translations or actual original words they used. But at least with the subs and translation, our father kicked the bucket. Is that how you describe your father who passed away? He didn't say like our father passed away. It was a tragic. Unfortunately, right? Sadly, none of that. He literally just says bluntly and abrasively, our father kicked the bucket without giving us the secret technique. Zero sadness, zero grief, only resentments and bitterness that the father didn't leave them with the secret technique. Heartless. Again, I'm doubling down on my prediction that I think the youngest son is going to take the secret technique and the ingredients because I think he's the only one that's a nice guy. He's the only nice grieving son. I think the oldest and the second son, they're just greedy. All they want is a secret technique to be rich, to be successful. Unbelievable. Greed. Oh, I think that fishbowl is sitting on that thing. Again, you guys know I love making wild conjectures and predictions. Again, this is baseless. I'm just making dots, but that's why I love this show so much. And you guys are extremely charitable and forgiving with my predictions, even when I'm wrong. Again, I'm very good at being right, but I'm also very good at being very wrong. I think the fishbowl is the memento that was left behind for the youngest son, which I think is going to take the most important heirloom, which is secret technique. I think that fishbowl looking thing was on that little chest in front of the window. And I think the sunlight, based on the direction of the sunlight, is going to hit the fishbowl and going to reflect sun ray into a certain direction. And I think that certain direction might pointing at the corner of the chest, which is bestowed upon for the second son. And I think that's the location for the youngest son. And I think only youngest son might be able to get it because of the relationship with the fishbowl, the sun, the directions, and that very strangely placed window. We'll see. See? Zero grief. It's hidden.
ってもタンスを動かせないんじゃ邪魔で仕方ない。まったくいい迷惑だ。
Bruh.
どうだ
Greed.
そんなんでもしばらく食うには困らない金にはなるぞ。
You see, I think before the youngest son got interrupted, because again, Asian culture, especially Eastern Asian culture, in this case China, is very hierarchical in terms of social hierarchy, in terms of family, in terms of the eldest son and everything I talked about. Because the birth order, youngest usually get no respect from the older. And then the olders usually get to do whatever they want. Case in point, the eldest son and the second son interrupted the youngest son without any respect and consideration for what he had to say. But what I'm guessing the youngest son wanted to say, attempted to say, is dad was probably thinking this is the best way to keep us together. So they can have this tea party, aka spending quality time as the remaining family members of this metalwork dynasty that the father built out, right? And the only thing they're thinking about is, I envy you. You can at least sell that thing and live off of it for a while. And looks like that chest, in the golden plated chest, cannot be moved out because it's plated and like to the ground, which is what the corner is, I'm guessing.
茶会をして何になるんだ。
See? Man, you guys don't get it, dude. They completely missed the point. Youngest son is my favorite. Yep.
三人ともおよしなさい。お客様の前でみっともないですよ。
That must be the mother.
ごめんなさいね。いつからこんな風になってしまったのか。
Greed.
次男もひねくれてしまって。末っ子は自分の意見も言えない。
That's exactly my point. I literally just said that. Go, mom.
な調子だから、主人も最後の最後まで心配していたんです。
親というものは子がいくつになっても気苦労が絶えないんだな。
Part of parenthood. Unconditional love, huh?
お茶をどうぞ。
全員わざわざ移動して座ったということは定位置が決まっているんだろう。窓の前を避けてるのはただの習慣か。ちょうどこの時間は窓から光が差しているし。
This time of the day, the sunlight comes through the window. Yo, I think my wild conjecture is getting closer. I'm telling you, I think the sun, based on the time of the day, like I predicted earlier, is gonna point at a certain location. And this is like an escape room. This is like a microcosm of an escape room, or like an enlarged version of like a puzzle solving. I'm telling you, man, I think the youngest son, who's the nicest, most considerate, the only son that actually cared for his father outside of wealth, inheritance, I think is going to take away the most valued, precious possession, which is the secret technique.
もう少し光が伸びたらタンスに当たりそうだが、
Yup.
タンスに日焼けの跡はな。
Yup. I'm excited.
焼けた跡。
She does what she wants. This is Mao Mao's world. We're just living in it.
中に何か詰まってる。誰かに似ていると思ったら、こいつはガウシュに似ているのだな。
Oh, is it Gao Shun's son? Wow.
鍵がある真ん中の引き出しは開かないんですよね。
昔は開いたんだが。
I think he did that purposely.
鍵を壊したら中のものも壊れる。
See, this is escape room and true puzzle solving. That's why brute force cannot break it open. And I think the dad purposely stuck inside the keyhole to make sure it cannot be forced open, but they have to work as a team through the final mysterious will of having this gathering tea party to combine all the inheritance into one. Because they need the access to the main shack, which is given to the oldest son. They need access to the main chest in the middle of this room, which is given to the second son. And I think they need the reflector of the fishbowl, which is given to the youngest son. With the help of the sun, the window, the placement, and some puzzle and high intelligence, which is the help of Mao Mao. I think through all that combination, pun intended, combination like a lock, is the only way to access the secret technique, the true heirloom, the true inheritance.
もしかして、
Light bulb. She got it?
金魚鉢はもともと あそこの
It's on that shelf. I'm telling you, it's the reflector for the sun.
そうですけど
Yup.
昔は金魚を入れてここに置いていたんです。寒くなると死んでしまうので、冬場は茶会をする暖かい昼間だけ。ちょうど今みたいな
During tea party, around this time. So I want you guys to have a tea party like the good old days. I think that good old days was a hint to specify the time of the day or time of the season. And time of the season correlates with the direction of the sunlight. Yo, I'm getting goosebumps. Yo, my conjecture is getting closer.
金魚を飼う
Let's go.
ただの置物になってますけど。
おいお前
水をもらいに
Yo, see? Master Basin has, bro, Master Basin, it's okay. You're new to Mao Mao, but even Master Tinshi, your boss's boss has zero control over Mao Mao. So it's okay. Don't feel bad. It's not your fault. It's just, this is Mao Mao's world. You're just in it. You'll learn. If you know, you
私
know.
はこうやって水を入れていたと。
ええ、そうです。ちょうどこの絵柄がこちらに向くように。
Pattern. I'm telling reflector. Let's go. Yapai. Yo! What did I say? What did I say? Sorry. Let me calm down.
触るな。すみません。目に入ると失明してしまいます。あと邪魔なので離れてください。鍵が開きませんよ。
The sun's gonna melt the thing?
入ったようですね。熱い。それに妙な匂いが。
I think whatever the dad used to stuck the keyhole has to be melted by the sun, which is, again, reflected based on the fishbowl placement, which is exactly what I predicted. And remember, it's hot because it's metal, sun, where obviously it absorbs heat. It's a heat carrying materials. And it's a strange smell. Whatever the dad used to stuck the keyhole, it's probably melting. Oh my gosh, yo.
では先ほどの鍵でこの引き出しを開
I
け
think it's working now. It's been melted. Just do it, bro. Boom. Boom. Oh.
はい、そうですが。
他に
Bro, even the oldest son and the second son didn't know that the father was suffering from chronic stomach ache and amnesia. Again, they don't care about their dad. They don't even know the father's chronic health condition. If you loved your father, wouldn't you know? Of course you would. Rhetorical question. What did my profile, my psychological profile that I established for the oldest son, the second son, just from looking at them, boom, confirmed. And who's the only person that knows about the father's chronic health condition? The youngest son. Because he loves the father and he cares. Man,
吐き気や気を
heartless oldest and second sons, dude. Greed.
私は彫金細工についてよく知りませんが、ここではハンダも使っているのでしょうか。
ええ、使ってます。
どういうこと
Lead? Is this lead poisoning again?
皆で昔と同じように茶会をしろという遺言に従っただけです。まだ少し暖かい。それに柔らかい。
From the sun. Whoa. Wow.
おい、来たぞ。
中身は
Called it secret materials. Yo, I called this. What did I say, dude? It looked too
みたいだ。
precious just to be a random decoration.
何がみんな仲良くだよ。結局親父の最後のいたずらに振り回されて終わりかよ。
Bro, this is not a prank. It's your father's deceased will, you selfish, dumpling looking, greedy second son. Bro, you look like a dumpling, man.
出らんね
Greed, dude.
技は見て盗めとか、職人気質の客人が昔言ってたな。
まずは聞きなさい
Ah,
諭されたこともある。
you need the recipe. You need to
死ん
follow.
だ父親の意図を理解できたのは末っ子だけだろう。
Yeah.
ハンダは数種類の金属を混ぜ合わ
Yep. You need the materials, secret ingredients.
ことで新しい金魚ができるとすればどうだろう。
Yep.
しかも金魚鉢で集約した光の熱とはいえ、
Mm.
のかもしれない。
Wow, ratio.
口を出す必要はない。
Wow, ratio, dude.
何が遺言だ。行くぞ。
See? Yo, because the greed, the oldest and the second, they just walk out like, screw all this. What's all this useless things? And the youngest son's gonna take all. Guys, all right. I think this is the closest and the most accurate predictions I've ever made on this show. Wow.
して損したぜ。
待ってよ兄さん、
あ
いたずらなんかじゃない。
だったら何だってんだよ。
やっぱり親父は僕たち兄弟に仲良くしてほしくて遺言を残したんだ。
Don't tell them. Just,
だから僕は
aww. Oh, youngest. Are they gonna do it? Or are they gonna walk out?
俺たちと笑わせんな。お前は俺たちとは違う。
What?
才能のあるお前は親父に特別に可愛がられて
Oh, envy. Wow.
親父は兄さんたちのことを信頼していた。
Wow, jealousy and envy, huh?
言ってたんだ。ツー兄さんは人の心をつかむのがうまい。
Salesman
誰とも
type.
打ち解けられるのは兄さんの誇れる才能だって。
Yeah.
親父は
Wow. Oh. So heartwarming. Are they gonna be convinced?
少なくとも僕はそう思う。
Or are they gonna walk out? What you gonna do?
失礼。
すみません。
父親。まあ、
Father.
私には関係ないことだ。
ありがとうございました。
The ratio?
読書館という棚に
Woman, yeah.
技術の腕も確かなので、何か体調が悪いようであれば訪ねてみてください。
Nice.
はい。
Because of lead poisoning? Yeah. Prolonged use, chronic exposure to lead, obviously lead poisoning, right? I guess we won't find out if those three sons gonna work together.
やはりあの三兄弟、一番できるのは末の息子だったようですね。
軍師殿には分かっていたのだろう。
あの後、末っ子がめきめきと力を見せ出しましてね。後継者になって宮廷に出す細工を扱うと言われています。
Wow.
長男と次男は今回の件で職人から足
Wait,
を
what?
洗
Oh.
ったそうです。
So, okay, so I guess the youngest son was not able to convince the oldest two, and sounds like the youngest son's gonna take all, which is my prediction. One last psychological idea and concept I want to introduce is that's an idea of like self-defeating syndrome. Definition right here. It's not a clinical term, but it's when people have so much insecurity, so much shame, they view themselves so lowly out of envy and jealousy. In this case, the oldest and the second sons, they said that we are not like you. You are not like us. You actually have talents. And the youngest son tried his best to tell them that no, we are all equal. We all have different strengths and different weaknesses. The second son sounds like a great salesman. He can befriend and talk to anyone. The oldest son is very precise and accurate, right? Which is very important for metalwork or any craftsmanship. And the youngest son has the greatest talent in terms of actual ideas to build things and I guess the traits that his father was known for. So if three of them were to work together, they could 100% reach the level of the father, if not even more, because 3 is greater than 1. But because of the self-defeating syndrome and insecurities and envy for the oldest and the second sons, it seems like, based on what the strategist is saying, that they chose to leave their career as a craftsman, and only the youngest son ended up taking everything, even though he was willing to share everything with the oldest, too, and work together to continue the legacy of the deceased father. But again, sometimes we can do is all we can do. We can mean the best, have the best intention, be thoughtful, be considerate, be charitable for others. But if those others have too much insecurities and self-judgments, they will reach the same outcome as self-defeating syndrome, and there will be the ones that push you away. Because it's not us. A lot of times, it's them. It's their own insecurities, their own judgments that makes them isolate themselves and push you away, right? So all we can do is all we can do. Like the youngest son, he tried his best.
長男は売り上げの管理、
Oh,
次男は販路の開拓、それぞれ別の方面から家業を支えることにしたそうです。
nice.
まあ要するに適材適所に落ち着いたということで。
Just kidding. I take back all that I said. Sounds like their love and the youngest son was able to convince the oldest two. And they are going to continue the legacy of the father. Guys, what did I say? I'm also very good at being very wrong. But the concept of self-defeating syndrome still stands and is still very much valid. Anyway, I do think that it's very ominous what the strategist is saying. In other words, they all found their place. I feel like he's hinting at something at Master Jinshi, that Mao Mao should know her place, and the deceased courtesan should have known her place, that she's nothing but a courtesan. How dare she? Or am I reading too much into it? Or am I overanalyzing? Overanalyzing as always, in continuation from the cliffhanger of episode 15. And then she takes a
屋敷で何があったかはわからない。
and then he takes a sip.
きっとあのクス氏の娘は知ってて黙っているんだ。
細工を使うと
Wow, psycho death. See?
そうですね。
He's playing war game. Yep.
本来私の立場に細具など関係ないと分かっているだろうに。
There's a deeper
言い
meaning.
まして、
What a snake.
兄弟など関係ない。才能があるなら目をかけてやるべきだろうとね。
Those with attention should receive attention. Again, I think the strategist is hinting at Mao Mao, and I think he wants to poach Mao Mao from Jinshi that, hey, those with talents should and deserves attention. AKA, hey, Mao Mao is too talented to be your personal mate. Give her up. Give her something higher position. And I can give Mao Mao the higher position as a master strategist to make her my protege. Strategist, so give her up. Mao Mao deserves more attention than the attention you're giving her selfishly. I think that's what the strategist is saying. That's what he's not saying, but I think that's what he's implying. Yo, this 4-dimension invisible
ラ
chess.
カンはうさんくさい男だが、人の才能を見抜く目は確かだ。
Oh, Laken, that's his name. He's a moneymaker, huh?
の続きを聞きたいのですが、
前の話と言いますと、
以前聞いた妓女の話ですよ。
I'm telling you, I think that's Mao Mao's mom.
そういうことは、その世界を知る者に聞いた方が早い。
You shouldn't direct the inquiry to someone who knows their world. And Master Jinshi just stunts. I'm telling you, I think he raped her, dude. What a scum. What a piece of shit.
これは部屋付きのお友達にでもあげてくだされ。では、また明日。
Bro, I know I'm predicting without base, again, without evidence, but dude, he gives her that scummy vibe, dude. I think he's a shitbag.
お呼びでしょうか。
お前は化粧に詳しいか？
はあ、まあ一通りは。
Freckles?
俺に化粧をしてくれないか？
Such an intimate task. Wow, okay, so episode 16 didn't have a crazy of a mysterious cliffhanger like previous episode. Probably because the episode was already so much focused on solving puzzle. So maybe the writers are like, we'll spare the audience one time because there was already enough puzzle solving. But it's interesting, more intimate, romantic cliffhanger. Like, hey, can you do my makeup for me? That's a very intimate task. And that means Mao Mao is going to touch Master Jinshi's face, hair. It's a very intimate and one-on-one private moments. Right? Anyway, without further ado, as always, If you enjoy my analysis, my wild conjectures, sometimes baseless predictions, smash that thumbs up. That helps with the algorithm, and make sure you're subscribed unless you want to miss my next video. And before you go, I just want to share about our patrons and YouTube memberships. If you want to get early access for 2 to 3 weeks early, so you don't have to wait and you can binge watch, join our patron family or YouTube members for up to 2 and 3 weeks of early access. As always, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Until next time, peace.